All right. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Where are you traveling to?
I'm traveling to Eastern University, Pennsylvania for my master's in political science.
No. Just slow it down. When they ask you that question, what they simply want from you is your school and the location of your school. Okay? If
Okay.
they need more questions beyond that, they will ask you.
All right.
Yeah. So the next question would be, what are you going there to do?
I'm going here to study political science, master in political science.
I'm going there for my master's in political science. And what's so important to you about this course? Or why did you choose this course?
Okay, I choose this course for two reasons. Firstly, I did my first degree in political science. Secondly, as a lecturer in political science department in District University, Ibadan, Oyo State, where I teach political science, and also as an assistant course advisor. Within my time of lecture and time of interaction with students, I observed that the departmental curriculum is more of theoretical instead of practicality. And I want to do this course to able to enable me to effect this change when I finish my course and return back and I should the office of course advisor.
Is this the first time you're interviewing with me?
No, the second.
Okay, because I got some. Yeah, thank you for following the instructions. And this is your first visa interview, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, from the answers you gave, do you think you followed the bullet points?
I think so.
Eh? You think so? You're not sure. Okay. So I want you to be conscious of that. You didn't follow it very well. So um I'm not sure, but but I lost track of that. That's why I'm asking. So I don't want to put you on the
Maybe
spot.
we'll listen again.
Yeah, just be conscious of that. It helps you to secure the attention of your VO. So I'll go back again. Why did you choose this course? What is so important to you about this course? Or tell me about this course and what it means to you.
All right. I chose this course for two reasons. Firstly, I studied political science as my first undergraduate degree. Secondly, as a lecturer in the Department of Political Science, this State University in Ibadan, Oyo State, where I'm a lecturer for the past 6 years and of course as assistant course advisor. Within my time of lecturing and interacting with students and assistant course advisor, I've understood that the student fails to grapple more because the course curriculum of the department is more of theoretical instead of practicality. And I cannot be able to effect this change in my current knowledge because I need career advancement for me to be able to effect this change when I return back and assume the office of the course advisor to be able to advise the department on the reasons why they need to review the departmental curriculum to be more of theoretical so the student can grapple more within my experience so far.
Yeah, but you have to present your case in a way that makes it stand out. Anybody can do that. What makes you special in this particular area that you require this experience, that you need this course? Yes, you mentioned you have a background in your first degree as a political scientist, and then having been teaching as a professor. You also mentioned, yeah, a very good point that you are not having enough knowledge to be able to, but can you present it in a way that is much compelling? Because your ability to secure your visa is part of the ability to convince your VO. So personally, I would not say you have not convinced me, but your opening move has no it's not compelling so strongly. So can you break it down? Something you've done. You've been a professor. So what is it that you've done or that you are planning to do as a political, having been teaching? What is it that you really want to break down? I want you to just break it down into something that you've practically done, like a research or something that tells your reason for this class, for this course. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then save less time in talking about yourself when they ask you this question, like trying to talk about the school. They have access to that school. You mentioned it there already where you're working, so they know your VO has it. Since they have it, why don't you just talk about, you know, you majored in first degree, you majored in political science in your first degree, and having been teaching as a professor in this area for this number of years, you know, in this, in the university or in their current place of work, just save a little time for yourself because you don't have enough time. That's what I'm trying to say. Summarize as much as possible. If there are things you've mentioned in your application, don't repeat them because they have access to them. When you're talking, your VO will just quickly glance through. Oh, okay, let me see where he's just mentioning. So you save yourself that time so you can finish all your points. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then lastly, like I mentioned, that thing you mentioned that you want to do, break it down. Is it a research work? Is it a plan or a program? If the intention is to just assume an office, it's not strong, because what education does is to provide a solution or to solve a problem. It's not to get a promotion like we have in Nigeria. Most people in Nigeria want to go to school because they want promotion, and that is why one of the reasons why I flawed our civil service plan of saying promotional exam. It's not supposed to be a promotional exam. It should be a career advancement exam. But if you say a promotional exam, it simply means most people take those exams because they just want to move from one department or to the other, or from one what is it called again? Have a bank, from one digit to the other, maybe elevated bank credits to them or elevated funds to them, but it's not to advance you. So please just watch that carefully. Can you go back later and address this particular area? Can you?
Can I say something about this?
Go ahead.
The first time we had this section, I mentioned that what I said here again was what I repeated, that the problem I really want to solve, we have in the two sections you gave us that there is a place for why this school, and equally why are you going for this course. So, and I said that day that I want to solve the problem. Having been teaching in the Department of Political Science, I have observed that the curriculum of the department is more of theoretical than practical, and it makes students to be able.
Good. So good. Now you mentioned an area. Can you break it down? That's what your VO is looking for. It's more of a theoretical. Can you break it down? For instance, this. It's not supposed to be this. It's supposed to be this. And there's no way you can effect this change without heading this department. And for you to head this department, you need to have, this advanced experience. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Did you see the way I put it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what they are looking for. Don't make a blanket statement. Don't make a hypothetical statement. Don't make it look ambiguous. Break it down. That's what they are looking for. If you say, okay, they are doing this, they are not practical, they are theoretical, then give instances. I'm waiting for the next people who will be coming, maybe doing other courses, so you listen and see how I'm going to address that issue. So yours is unique. So think about that. Okay? All right. But so far so good. Then why did you choose this school?
Okay, I chose the school for two reasons. Firstly, the school was very recommended to me by my head of department, Dr. Husseini, who is an alumni of Eastbrook University. He spoke about how strong the school curriculum is. Secondly, The 2022 Nigeria Bureau Statistics on Poverty Education showed that over 160 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. That's about 63% of Nigerian population are poor. And as a researcher and a political science lecturer, this staggering statistics really pushed me to go into a course research to find a solution to this. And we come up with a research topic, which is effect of culture on economic development, on development of culture. The course curriculum in this university will help me to be able to complete this course research.
Hold on. You are breaching the attention. You said for 3 reasons, right? 2 reasons. But you are using conjunctions to elongate those 2 reasons. So you are breaking it. You're not sticking to the rule. When you talk this way, your interviewer is going to get tired of you. And you don't want that, because you used that bullet points to hold his or her attention. You are sustaining somebody's attention. When you say, okay, for 2 reasons, I want to listen to the last reason. But now you're using other conjunction. You're making you're using long sentences to breach those attention that you just sustained. So be very careful, because you don't have all the time. You don't want to be caught like in between. Also remember, the first 90 seconds of your interview is when they make decisions. The way you start, the way you move. They also make decisions in also other points you mentioned. Everything is all encompassing. But don't make your opening move in every sentence boring, or in every sentence like too lengthy. Your points are okay, but please, you started with a good reference, good. They want that. Also talk about why you chose this school in terms of what you are going to apply in Nigeria in a practical sense, but make it short and simple so that you can have at least 3 points.
Okay.
Does it help a little bit?
Yeah.
Save yourself long sentences. That's the only thing I'm faulting here. But every other thing is wonderful. But save yourself from long sentences, and speak slowly. Speak slowly so that your interviewer can hear you. You don't have to put yourself in a position whereby you have to be saying they will ask you, what did you say? What did you mean? It's not a good advantage for you. All right.
Okay.
Then, do you have scholarship?
No.
So, who is sponsoring your education?
I and my wife will be covering my funding for my education.
Okay. They may want to know what your wife is doing.
Okay.
All right. If you want to talk about it on camera, you're free. But I'm just giving you that clue. And they also want to know what you're doing as well. And it is also, are you traveling with your wife?
No.
So why is your wife not traveling with you?
My wife has an integral role in her current place of work here in Nigeria, and I have a business to open together. While I'm away, she'll be taking care of the business and our daughter.
Okay. But sometimes, that could be, I usually encourage people to, put their wife in the plan, even if she's not traveling. But you are in best position to make that decision. All right.
Yeah.
So think about these 2 things. They may want to know what your wife is doing and what you're doing, how much you make every year, and how much she makes, and how old is your marriage?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
How long have you been married?
Been married for 2 years.
Okay, so you see that your marriage is very fragile. They also consider that when you say you are leaving your wife to travel, that also sets off a red flag. Have you traveled before with your wife?
No.
Have you traveled out of the country before?
No.
So this is a fresh experience. So how do you think your wife is going to handle this? So these are things that will come in the mind of your VO, and you have to prepare your mind in such a way to answer these questions if they come up. You know, if you say you are married, they may want to know, why is your wife not traveling with you? And the marriage is 2 years. So you have to really prepare your mind towards that if that question comes up, and especially if she is part of funding the trip. So
Yeah, she's funding about 20% of it.
yeah, I'm just saying, just prepare your mind for those questions if they should come up.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And speak slowly. Do you have any other questions for me?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
I want to ask. When it comes to the funding, like when you interviewed the other guy that went with his wife, the banker guy, or so, 2 days later, or Thursday or so.
Yeah.
It was between him and his wife. Like when you asked him, he said it was between him and his wife. But he, first of all, when he was asked how he's going to fund, he first of all, because he was the one paying almost 80% of the funding, he first of all talked about what he does. Like in the transcript he sent, and equally collected in that night, he first of all spoke about how he's going to fund it before he now brought in about the business he owns with the wife, for the wife now. But I think he went for an interview with the wife, what the wife now started saying about her own personal business. So I'm asking, if for example, I'm being asked, how are you going to fund this course, or who is funding you? If I say I and my wife, can I continue, or should I wait for them to ask me first about my wife or me?
So the thing is this: if you mention that you are married, some questions provoke further questions. You see why I usually tell people to use logic blockers. Logic blockers are questions that when those questions are thrown to you, you use those questions to answer further questions that you anticipate that may come in between. For instance, if you ask me, why did you choose this course? In the process of answering why I choose that course, I will explain my long-term goals. I will explain what I intend to do, the reason why this course is so important to me. I will use it to block you from answering further, block you from asking me what are your long-term goals, because you contain it, you simply integrate it into one question. So if you say you are married, which would most likely come up, they may ask you how long have you been married, any child, which is also a good tie. But a question may come up because you said your wife is also sponsoring you, and your marriage is very fragile, 2 years. Why are you not traveling with your wife? Or have you guys traveled before? So all these things will raise questions. So it all depends on the interviewer now to decide whether to make a decision, because they are struggling. They are struggling to defend why they should give you a visa, or why they should deny you a visa. It's a struggle for them, because if they give you a visa, they have to document that they give you a visa and why. And if they deny you a visa, they will have to document they denied you visa and why. So you put them on the spot. So in order to avoid those things, make your logic very straight and use all the means that can make your case easy and straight. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you were here that very day when I interviewed that guy, right? And you saw how I think I interviewed him 2 times, and then I told him on the third one I need to talk with him and the wife. He thought I was joking. Yeah. I insisted, I want to talk with your wife. So his wife now came in, and then I engaged 2 of them. So the same thing I'm telling you. So these cases are judged based on what you present and what you have and what you said. These people are body language experts. They read everything you say. They also judge everything you say within those nanoseconds. So, but make sure when you are answering, make sure that that your first 90 seconds, your outing is okay, your comportment, make sure you are not tensed up. Because sometimes some people have tension, some people speak faster when they are tensed up. You know, they try to speak faster. And also, continue to maintain your accent. Don't try to, maybe you come in and then you start forming, because you meant Oyibo, you start forming Americana. When you start forming Americana, tension will catch you when the things start going deeper and deeper. You lose all that you're Americana and get more serious with Nigeria. So just start well, right? Yeah, but
so, I still want to get that clarification, like I said, because mostly when you talk about that, I'm funding this program, I and my wife are funding this program, most often than not, she might want to ask us just what your wife is doing alone. So
yeah, he or she will ask.
Yeah. I'm answering that, can I come in with what I am doing too?
What you are?
Should I wait for her for them to ask? Because my end not
asking. Please, everybody listen carefully. Do not answer what you are not asked unless you want to connect it. Remember, unless you want to connect it, or both of them are all connected. If they ask you who is sponsoring your education, the answer to that question is myself and my wife, period. Don't go further than that. If they need more questions, they will ask you.
The thing I'm saying is, like, where I'm saying is, if they now ask, maybe if they now ask us, what is your wife doing? After answering what my wife is doing, can I connect immediately with what I am doing?
What you're doing is, you already filled that up in your DS-160. Have you forgotten? And that is where they are looking at. Your interviewer is looking at it. It's right in front of him or her. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I said it earlier, save your time for the best options you have. If you have something already in on paper, documented in your DS-160, why do you need to repeat it when you can sell yourself? Because the points you are answering are the things that are not contained more or less in your DS-160. So sell yourself well. Why do you need to repeat what you do if you are not asked? The answer to the question, who is sponsoring this trip? Myself and my wife. What do you do for a living? And what does your wife do? These are the two possible questions that can come. Then you sell yourself. If it doesn't come and they ask you about your wife, answer about your wife. Do you get what I'm saying? The reason why I'm saying this is, these are body language experts. Most times, if you remember that guy, the guy that had interviewed, the one I interviewed, I asked him, why did you choose this course? And he started answering why I chose the school. I told him, if you do that with your interviewer, sometimes it creates suspicion. Do you understand me? It creates suspicion unnecessarily that this is not what you intended, but they feel you are dodging something. And and your interviewers are more careful and very sensitive when it comes to this funding area. They ask you one thing, you start, digressing. It's also a red flag. Why do you need to dodge that question when I just asked you a simple question? Who is sponsoring your education? And you're just running around. You don't want to get yourself into that kind of mess. So they ask you about you, answer about you. Ask you about your wife, answer about your wife. If they need further information, they will ask you. But the most important thing is, start with a good presentation to win favor. And also pray about it. Your preparation is 60%. Prayer is 40%. So think about this whole thing. It is as important as one another. All right.
Thank you.
Do you have any other question?
No, so far.
All right. So I'm wishing you all the best, the very best. Go back into what we just discussed. If you have more questions, just holler at me on my WhatsApp. Let's iron it out. I'm willing to help in any way I can, but just go back into what we just discussed. Listen to the recording and pay attention. I'll be posting this also. So we spent 24 minutes. You won't even have 24 minutes. You won't have 24 minutes. So think about it. All right?
Thank you.
All right. Adejumo, you raised your hand. So I'll take a question and then go back to the next person for tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, please. I have my interview tomorrow and I was thinking maybe
Okay.
one session.
All right. So I have my camera on. You want it recorded or you want out of camera?
So we also have our interview as well, and there's a list that we've dropped.
Okay, yeah. So like I said earlier, from that list, I'm not going to be looking to organize that list. If you want to, somebody from the group can take responsibility for pointing who goes next. I'll just look at the list while I'm talking with you. I'll just be looking at the list, but I want you to follow that list from the way you submitted it based on those who are going tomorrow. Please. Based on those who are going tomorrow. So I can only do the much I can. If somebody wants to take, handle that, like, okay, this is the next person to go, I will really appreciate that. Otherwise, we can continue. Somebody is raising a hand. Yeah, if you have a question, you can ask before I continue.
Yes, it's me. I also have my interview tomorrow.
Yes,
I would love to.
Those for tomorrow, I'll take all of you first. You can rest assured on that. Those for tomorrow, I'll take from you. But please, you go serially from the way you submitted that, from the way you submitted your transcript. So know who is going before you and know who is going after you. Somebody can take responsibility for that and mention that, please, if you don't mind. Okay.
I think most people did not drop their interview dates.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm doing is whoever that is ready and is going tomorrow, just come on, let's go. So Adejumo, are you next? Who is next after the last guy? Obi, who is next after you?
I'm ready.
I'm ready as well.
I know you are all ready, but
The people that posted after me didn't actually attach the date of the interview. So, like,
all right. If you are going for tomorrow, you are ready. Let's go.
Okay. Can I go?
All right. Do you want it recorded? Do I have your permission?
It doesn't matter.
All right. All right. So, where are you traveling to?
University of North Carolina, Greensboro.
What are you going there to do?
To study. I'm going there for my master's program in English and African American literature.
So let me ask also, is this your first visa interview?
No.
Okay. So now everybody listen, I'm going to take another dimension to this. So if you've been denied visa before, like in your case, I'm going to start differently. Some interviewers may start this way. Some may just continue going straight without bothering to start this way. So I'm going to start this way. So what has changed in your application since your last interview?
Okay, I recently just returned to Nigeria and I'm trying to go back for my master's program in the US. Yes.
Let's take it again. You said you were denied visa, right?
No, I was not denied.
Okay, so I didn't get.
I just got back to Nigeria not long ago, so I'm going back for a master's program.
Okay, so your own case is different now. So we are going to another dimension now. So have you traveled out of Nigeria before?
Yes.
Where did you travel? Where did you travel to?
I went to the United States, Greensboro, North Carolina, to be specific.
So what did you go there to do?
I went as a Fulbright. I went on a Fulbright fellowship where I taught in a U.S. college.
Listen, please, can you break it down? Your interviewer is listening. Even though you mentioned that, can you break what you did in the U.S.?
Okay.
They asked you, what did you go to the U.S. to do, or what did you go to the North Carolina to do?
Okay, I went to the U.S. as a Fulbright fellow to teach in a U.S. college.
What did you teach?
Sorry, what was the question?
What did you teach?
I taught Yoruba language.
Okay, now, I'm here not to give you what to say. I'm here to guide your ideological wavelength. When you're asked that question, you are making it difficult for me. It looks like I'm trying to extract information, and this is not what you want to do with your interviewer. When they ask you, what did you go there to do? What did you go to the United States to do? I went to United States, at this university you mentioned in North Carolina to teach Yoruba. Or I was invited, period. Better, I was invited during the fellowship to teach Yoruba. It's simpler, and don't make it like a big deal. Make it a conversation. This interview, it should be a conversation and not like an interview. Secondly, intelligent people don't pass visa interview. I want everybody to listen to me. Intelligent people don't pass it. Smart people do. You need to be smart, and being smart means your ability to understand your VO's question, your ability to understand your program and what you're going for, and your ability to understand your answer. Because sometimes people answer what they don't understand, and they say what they don't understand. So put all these things into consideration. So let me ask you again, what did you go to the United States to do?
I went to the United States as a Fulbright fellow to teach Yoruba at Bennett College, North Carolina.
Period. How long did you spend in the US?
About 10 months.
So they may know the kind of visa you have. What visa did you go with?
I went on a J1 visa.
Okay, J1. Okay, so J1 is okay. So at this moment, I will revert back. So what are you traveling to the US to do? They may want to just end your interview from there and give you a visa. Yeah, they may want to just end your interview right there after you answered that, because you've traveled and come back. They may want to just end your interview there, or they just want to ask you maybe 1 or 2 questions. You've traveled before, so that's a good background. Your background is stronger than most people. So what are you traveling for, to this place? Why did you choose this course? Sorry.
Okay, I'm traveling to study for my master's program in English and African American literature. I chose this course because I have a strong background in African literature, but while staying in the US, I realized that there is a lot of similarities in between the African literature and African American literature, and I would love to go into a comparative study of both literatures.
Okay.
That's why I chose English and African American.
Can you put it this way? When you're asked why did you choose this course, can you use bullet points? Can you try it? Can you use I chose this course for 2 reasons or for 3 reasons. First, I majored in so in my first degree, and having been in this program blah 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 for what you thought and what you experienced in the US, you feel the need to upgrade your experience. Secondly, why being in the US, you now make your comparative analysis. I saw this, and I feel there's a need for you to do this and this and that. That's a good reason, right?
Okay.
So not less than it doesn't have to be not less than 3, not more than 4. Sometimes, depending on your point, not less than 2, not more than 3. So think about it, but make that Make that connection. When you use a bullet point, you simply tell your interviewer, hold on, and they will sustain their attention on you. That's why I encourage people to use bullet points. And for the sake of this interview, please use bullet points for me. You can decide not to use it when you get there, but your bullet points helps you to focus, get the attention of your interviewer focused on you. Nobody wants to interrupt you when you give bullet points. But when you start talking, they don't know where it's ending and how it's going to end. So that's why I'm encouraging that. All right. So, am I cleared on this, on the points I mentioned?
Yes, sir.
All right. I hope you're recording it so you can go back and listen to yourself, okay? And listen to the suggestions I made. So, why did you choose this course?
I chose this course for 3 reasons. The first is I have a background in English and literature. The second is while on my Fulbright year, I noticed similarities between African American literature and African literature, and I would love to study.
You love to explore it.
Oh God.
You love to explore.
I would love to explore
The opportunities. Yes, yeah. You love to explore the opportunities that you found, in those areas with the knowledge, available with it. So then when you talk about that, talk about what this exploration, what you are going to use it to do in Nigeria. It is very important. Tell your interviewer, because they want to know how you break it down. The most important thing is education is to provide solution or to solve a problem. So when you talk about these things, tell your interviewer what you want to use this knowledge to do. Indirectly, you are telling your interviewer your long-term goals, so they may not ask you that again at the end. You see the reason why I talk about logic blockers. You use it to block the next question that may come. What are your long-term goals? And you save yourself the energy. All right?
Okay.
All right. Then why did you choose this? Yeah? Why did you choose this school?
I chose this school because during my Fulbright year, I took a course in the school, and it's a very, very diverse school. It's one of the leading HBCUs in the US. And after taking courses in the school, I feel like this is where I should be due to their strong African American culture program.
Okay. Now, see, your interview may not last up to 5 minutes. Your interview may not last up to 5 minutes. Your advantage is bigger than most people. You have traveled to the US before, and you're back, and your J1 visa is it still valid?
No.
Okay, but the fact that you came back, that's a good background for you, and you've had experience, so that's an advantage. Then, do you have a scholarship?
No, I have funding with GA funding, partial funding
From
the school, from the graduate school and the department.
So what is funding? Funding is a scholarship, my brother. Any commitment, any financial commitment towards education is called scholarship. So you have a scholarship. So,
Okay.
you begin. Why did you choose this school? I chose this school. I chose this school for 3 reasons. You talk about you've been there before, so you can't talk about reference now. So you talk about you've been there before and what you did and how you want to continue. Secondly, you talk about based on your excellent academic records, you were awarded a scholarship to the tune of, you talk about how much this scholarship is taken from your tuition, to the tune of which you will cover this. And thirdly, you chose this school because of the experiences you gathered, and then you apply this experience to what you're going to use it to do in Nigeria. Does it make sense?
Experiences. Sorry, can you just give me 1 minute?
So you will get this on YouTube when I upload them. So if you ask me this question 10 times, I'm going to give you 10 different answers. So that is the danger of asking me to repeat what I said. That's why I ask you guys, record if you can. And also, if you give me the permission to record, you just look for it on YouTube and listen to it. Listen to yourself. So I just started the recording today. So far, so good. And I'll just say congratulations.
Thank you, sir.